Hello, hello, Awakened Boss Ladies. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone is doing amazing. And here we are on our promised weekly Confessions of an Awakened Boss Lady, where we come together to talk about the ways in which we're playing small or the ways in which we're stepping into our highest version. Either way is fine, right? It's just about really coming into awareness, coming into an expanded consciousness, and really connecting with the versions of you that are going to guide you to that desired trajectory. So when we come on here on Tuesdays, I like to make this a dialogue. I like to make this an opportunity where we can learn from each other, an opportunity where we can hear from each other, and an opportunity where we can share the ways in which we're seeing life, the ways in which we are looking at situations from different perspectives. So today I want to talk about shedding your shoulds. And if you know me, you know that that's one of the most important things that came in my life when I started my awakening, right? I came into an experience of realizing that I was living based on many conditions, a lot of other people's expectations. There was a lot of derailing behaviors that would put others before me, what they thought about me, what they felt, what they wanted. And all of these things were, in my mind, my way of moving upwards and forwards, right? My way of getting ahead. And I thought I was kind of winning at the game until I realized that there was a lot of doership. There was a lot of manifesting of material things, but not a lot of really feeling successful with satisfaction, with fulfillment, and with, feeling all the real desired things that I wanted as a soul lived experience. So today we're going to talk about what are your shoulds? What are the things that you know you're doing because you believe you should do them? What are the things that you are keeping up with because you understand it's something that you're supposed to create? This is living life by concept, right? By the expectations and the beliefs or the versions that aren't really our true self. So will you take a minute and look inward and have an inner dialogue about this with yourself? Because a lot of these questions that I post on here are about truth telling, right? Are about really coming home to self and having a truth telling conversation about these questions. So shedding your shoulds is a choice point that could be seen as difficult, right? A lot of times when I work with women and we come across a lot of things and a lot of places where they're giving away their power by making it something that they're doing that they don't really love or that isn't really life giving, but they're doing it because at some point in their life there was an expectation and an agreement built around this is something I should do, or this is something that I will do at the expense of myself. There is a feeling of this is bigger than me, right? A lot of times women will say there's just too much that I have to reorganize, or too much that I need to clean up and clear, or it's gotten too far ahead of me. And what I believe to be true and what I know was my experience is that the minute that you view the behavior and you choose to do differently, there's an aspect of reorganization that happens for you by just the universe. And yes, this may sound a little bit like, okay, that's very spiritual, Patty. But we are spiritual beings and we want to live a soul led life, like the life that our soul came here to live. And it's going to require coming into co creation with the universe to make it happen. So sometimes instead of trying to make a decision based on knowing how to get there, which is what we wait for. Like, I'm not even going to make that decision because I don't know how I would accomplish that. Try just making the decision. Try just saying yes to the fact that you no longer want to live a life based on shoulds and expectations and supposed to, right? And that alone, I promise you, will begin to change the way things get reorganized, the way you experience life little by little. And it'll also begin to create what we call small initiations, like small living workshops of opportunities or challenges where you are meant to show up in this new version, where you are giving small pockets of your life to clean up, right? And rewrite the script in that area. So I believe that it is very much a choice. And if you're living based on your shoulds, what is that costing you? What is it holding hostage in your life and in your trajectory? And also, what is it benefiting? Because it's always an exchange. There's always an exchange, a reciprocity to any way in which you live your life. So if you're living your life based on shoulds and supposed tos and other people's concept of who you should be, there's obviously some benefits, right? And are those benefits overweighing the costs, right? And that's another way for you to evaluate if this is an expired behavior, right? For me, early in my life, there were a lot of benefits. There were the benefits of fitting in, right? If I showed up a certain way and if I wore the right clothes and sounded, the expected way, I'd get a seat at the table. I'd get a feeling of belonging, of fitting in versus belonging, right? Because fitting in is when we're contorting ourselves to kind of fit into that world. And that's what I was benefiting, right? I was able to step upwards and forwards in my career, which was very masculine led and very patriarchy led. And then the costs were that I wasn't feeling satisfied. But that was years later when I started to awaken to the fact that the things that I was achieving weren't really hitting the spot for me, right? And that's when the benefit was now was now less than the cost, right? And these are the things that you get to look at. I always say to a woman, this life is about creating your sacred sweet spot where all the areas that matter to you have a space in your world, in your life, right? This life is about giving a harmonious blend of your soul and your human, where you can come in and create soul inspired experiences through a human led realm, right? Because that's why we're here. We're here to do it in this realm, right? But we're here to do the big thing, the soul desired thing, not the small ego, you know, dismissing or diminished thing. So that would be the question for you. If you're living based on your shoulds, and that's conditioning, circumstancing, again, culturalization, following the rule book, following the someone else's checklist. All of these things are ways in which we live based on shoulds. Is it something that is providing the soul led and soul inspired trajectory that you desire in this life? Or is it playing small? Are you giving away your power in doing this? Are you living a life that's coasted or by default? So every time we come on here, I'm going to be asking you to share your thoughts around this particular teaching, right? I'm going to be inviting you to DM me if you want to receive a worksheet that's going to help you define your shoulds. And it's going to help you look at whether it's time for you to shed your shoulds, right? Or if they're still supporting you and aligned to what you desire. So if you want that handout, please just DM me, shed your shoulds, and I'll send it right over to you. If you're going to look at this live after, just hashtag replay so I can get a feel that this is really supporting you and adding some value. If you've got other topics that matter to you and that you want me to come on and share my point of view and perspective on these topics, definitely put them on the comments. Anything that will guide us to where these live sessions on Tuesday are giving us aha moments, are giving us some curious questions, are giving us opportunities to come inward and get to know ourselves better. All the things that matter when we're working towards staying awake. Okay. And when we want to build a life based on being woke, right? And your life is all the areas when you want to build a business that's based on that. And these are all terms that I feel are trending, and it matters that I share what I mean. For me, a woke entrepreneur is a entrepreneur that is not allowing any limiting beliefs to derail your highest trajectory. So any beliefs around being less than, any beliefs around having to fit in, any beliefs around having to overgive or overextend yourself, the typical people pleaser, the typical overachiever, all the different masks and all the different ways in which we give away our power, is a person that has opportunity for waking up. So that's my invitation to you, to really look at what are the things that can guide you towards a more awakened existence. Please reach out if you want the freebie. And also, I am setting up some 20-minute chats that are completely free for any of the members on here, for us to get to know more about the things that are keeping you stuck and share more teachings that will help and guide you. So definitely reach out to me if you want to set up a 20-minute session for us to just connect. It's a hassle-free, sales-free session where we're just going to talk about the things that are potentially getting in the way of you moving upwards and forwards, and hopefully get to know what matters for you and for your expansion. So here we are. That's our confessions of an awakened boss lady today. The key to today is, are you living a life based on shoulds and supposed to? I should do this. I'm supposed to be this. I'm supposed to look like this. I'm supposed to have this by this time. Or are you living a life based on a soul-led trajectory where you're fully self-expressed, unapologetically authentic, living to your highest vulnerability and showing up, taking up space so that you could expand and shine and just contribute to the collective from this place of soul sponsorship. All right, that's what we've got. I'd love to hear some answers. I'd love to make this a dialogue. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you next Tuesday on Confessions of an Awakened Boss Lady. Love you.